Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I want to do a little bit of a discussion video. I actually had one of my subscribers ask if I could do a video like this, so yes, thank you. Now, today I'm going to be talking about how I select my goals and kind of how I set my goals for the upcoming year, how I make those decisions, and, all of that pretty much helps me to choose which books I'm going to read. So I do have a little bit of a process. So as I was setting some goals, because we're definitely kind of all in that mindset right now where we're setting our goals for next year, I kind of wrote down my process as I was making some decisions. So I hope that this is helpful. And I hope. So the first thing that I do is I always set my Goodreads goal first. And that is because I utilize Goodreads. I keep it up to date all the time. As far as what I'm reading. And, my want to read list is not necessarily up to date. I don't have, all of my owned books on there or whatever. I'm not very good about that, but it is up to date as far as what I'm currently reading and what I have read. And it goes in order. So I keep that updated on the regular. But the first thing I do is I set that goal, and that's going to be different for everybody. That just depends on your speed of reading, what's realistic for you to strive for. Some people, it could be 200 books in a year. Nope, not me. I'm going to set mine this year to a little bit higher than what I have been, just because it helps me push myself a little bit more. But some people I've seen, 25 books in a year, and that's successful for them, and that's fantastic. Some people do one book a week, which is 52. So whatever is good for you personally, based on your reading speed or something that you feel would be a lot of books in a year, just set that and maybe add 5 books or something to that to kind of help you push yourself a little bit further. But that is always the first thing that I do. And then as far as other goals go, I tend to kind of go through a little bit of a process on some of the goals that I want to set. This can depend on how I'm feeling at the time because it changes. A lot of times I will think about, are there certain types of books that I want to read? Are there certain genres I want to read more from? This year, I wanted to read more science fiction and fantasy. And I did that with fantasy for sure, not quite so much on the science fiction side, but I did read a lot more fantasy this year than I would normally read. And I have loved all of them. So that was a very successful goal for me. So think about something like that. Is there a genre you want to start getting more into that maybe you can make a goal to read, 2 or 3 books from this genre? So that's kind of one of my starting points. I think about genres. Is there, a certain area in reading that I want to read more from? Maybe you want to read more nonfiction this year. That would be a good place to start. And then from there, I start thinking about lists. Can I make like a master list of nonfiction books that I would really like to read? Maybe the ones that were the most popular this past year. Maybe I could start looking out for those from the library and start reading those. And so I kind of start making a little bit of a list in my head sometimes. Sometimes I write it out of, specific books that would fit into those categories very easily for me that I could kind of strive to read. I also think about new releases that are coming up in the new year. What kind of books are going to be released that I know about? And I do research on that. There's lots of blogs that will show you what books are being released in 2019. There's multiple different places where you can find that kind of information. So I would definitely encourage you to do some research on that. See what's coming out. See if there's any new books coming out from some of your favorite authors that you can look for, and you can add those to your list as well. I also think about challenge lists. I don't always do them, but there's a lot out there. I mean, go on Pinterest, guys. Seriously, go on Pinterest. You can find all sorts of lists of books that are, recommendations. You can find certain genres in there that are kind of like the top books in thrillers, or the top 10 books you should read in your lifetime, or, just any type of list. Really, truly, you can find on Pinterest. There will be all sorts of different stuff that you can find different categories in, and it will list specific books that you should look out for. I am going to be concentrating next year on the Great American Reads list, which I have talked about on my channel a whole bunch, but it's the top 100 books that were voted on by readers in America as, kind of their favorites. And, it went through a whole series on PBS about all these books and stuff. And I have printed out the list. I've highlighted books that I've already read, and I would like to, highlight a few more of those off in the next year. Quite a bit, actually. I would like to do that. So That's going to be one thing that I'm concentrating on, and that's just a good challenge for me. And you can find book lists everywhere, really, like something fun, something serious, whatever it is you want to do. There's always a Pop Sugar challenge as well that they release every year, where it's different prompts where you can find multiple books and though that would fit that prompt, so you can kind of make your own decision that way instead of a specific book. And those are always fun. It will definitely push you to read outside your comfort zone a little bit. And I've had fun when I've done them. I don't take them too seriously though, so I probably am not going to worry about it in the 2019 year. But if that's something that sounds like you think would be fun, then you could definitely find that. I have also been picking a top books I want to read in whatever year it is. So for 2018, I have the top 8 books because the last number in the year was 8. And that worked out pretty well for me. So I picked 8 books off my shelves that I decided I'm going to read these this year and challenge myself to do that. And then so far it's going well. For 2019, I'm going to pick 9 books for 2019. I don't know what I'm going to do for 2020 yet. I don't even want to think about that. I think 20 is too much. So we'll see how that's going to go. But for 2019, I'm going to pick 9. I am going to pick those based on books I already own. So not new releases, nothing coming out soon, nothing I don't have yet. They are books that I already own. They are on my shelves. And I tried to pick a good variety of books. I, don't want to have nothing but contemporary or nothing but fantasy. Maybe I'll have a fantasy and a contemporary and a nonfiction and, just something I've been really wanting to get to, but I keep putting it off for whatever reason. So each book has a very specific reason why that's what I want to read. And I try to, give it a good variety so it's not kind of all the same thing, because that would get a little bit too repetitive for me. So I like to mix it up that way. And picking a number just helps me keep it condensed, so I'm not picking everything up off my shelves. So this year was 8. Next year will be 9. And I haven't finished setting all my goals for 2019 yet. I still have a couple that are in my head that I'm trying to decide if I'm going to add them or not, or if I'm going to tweak them or whatever. So those are kind of the easiest things for me to talk about, because that's kind of where I already am in my process for setting my goals for next year. I still have a couple ideas in mind, but I don't want to set too many. And that would probably be my number one advice. Don't set too many goals for yourself, because I tend to find myself bogged down if I'm trying to do too much, which I did in 2018 for sure. So lesson learned on that one. But I do have a couple ideas in mind that I'm trying to see if it needs to be an overall goal, or if I can condense it to something smaller, or if it needs to be a goal at all. Maybe I don't need to worry about doing this. But you can also set different types of goals based on what you have on your shelves. Do you have any books that are over 1,000 pages? Maybe you could try to knock that out sometime in 2019. Do you have any books that are out of your comfort zone, but you picked it up because of BookTube? That could be something that you could try to pick up and see if it's something that you're going to actually enjoy. Are there any series that you want to get started on? Are there any series that you need to finish up that could be very easy for you to finish up this year? So things like that. Those are some things that I have set in the past as well, especially with the series, starting new ones, finishing up some ones that I'm in the middle of, or catching up on some that, just why haven't I finished this series yet type thing. So that's also a goal that I see going around a lot on BookTube for a series, and just trying to, work your way through them, because there's a lot of book series that a lot of people love, myself included. Okay, guys, I think that's all I have. So I hope it was helpful, but that's kind of my thought process when I'm setting goals and trying to figure out, if there are specific books I want to read. Sometimes it's specific books. Sometimes it's just a category that I want to concentrate on. But I hope that helped. And I want to get your tips down below too. So if you guys are big goal setters like I am, let me know how you think about your goals. And if there's any extra advice you guys want to give, please leave that link down below so other people can see that too. And we can kind of help each other set some goals for 2019. And let me know what some of your goals are as well down below if you guys have already set some. All right, that's going to be it for me today. I will have a video talking about my 2019 goals, probably more towards the end of the month. And I hope that this helped. I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.